race, the final frontier. It was back in 1886 that the first car was invented for everyday use by Carl Benz. Patenting a vehicle powered by gas at the time was not only the start of an entirely new industry, but also the start of the incredibly famous Mercedes-Benz brand. Wait, why am I explaining the history of cars? I don't know that! It was just over a month ago that we first got our hand on Xbox's latest big exclusive in Starfield, and we have already moved on to another exclusive in Microsoft's repertoire, Forza Motorsport. Now, I haven't played a Forza Motorsport game since Forza Motorsport 2 on the Xbox 360. Young Jordan had to find something to play while he was waiting for Halo 3 to release, and what better game than Turn 10's second entry into their famous racing series. Anyway, it's been a long time since then, and Turn 10 has not put the brakes on the Forza series, even lending a hand to playground games for the Forza Horizon line of games on top of the already established Forza Motorsport. It's here we will find ourselves with Forza Motorsport, a true testament to Turn 10's dedication and technological wizardry. Unlike most of the games that I've reviewed, Forza Motorsport doesn't really have a story. The cars go vroom, and that's all you really need to know. Still, the game does treat you to an exposition about how each car that you see on a racetrack is the result of meticulous work and tinkering, and how you serve a similar role. This does a great job of introducing the player to the tone of Forza Motorsport. It's less about the spectacle and more about the cars themselves. After that introduction and your first race are done, you are thrust into the vehicle upgrade system, which plays a very important role in the Forza Motorsport experience. Where Horizon's upgrades felt arbitrary and meaningless as that game will try to scale the opposing vehicles to yours, Motorsport really wants you to get into the nitty-gritty of each car. Each small upgrade and tuning adjustment that you make can have a profound effect, and, depending on the difficulty of the AI, can be the difference between getting a podium finish or being disowned by your family. What I really appreciate about this system though, is how it has a means of catering to people who don't understand all these upgrades for cars, like I don't. There's an auto upgrade system that you can choose instead of selecting specific car parts to upgrade, and it makes life a lot easier for someone like me, who sees all the car related words and cannot make sense of them. Look, I'm a music guy, leave me alone. It's fantastic that a game like this opens its doors to a wide variety of plays through systems like this. Car nuts can go crazy, meanwhile I can just see the car rating number go up and assume that means my car is better. Upgrades are one part of the broader picture when it comes to individual cars in Forza Motorsport. As you use a car, you will level it up, and leveling it up increases the amount of upgrading resources available as well as the upgrades themselves that are available. This means that you have to actually invest time into the cars that you use, unlike the Horizon games where you can just use whatever you want, whenever you want, and have all upgrades available at all times. Because of this, you have to really decide whether the cars you purchase are the ones you like or not, and it adds a surprising level of depth and agency to a game that could otherwise be brushed off as just a racing game. Progressing with each car isn't the only progression system, however, as there exist playlists that can be selected to play in. A lot of the early hours of the game will be spent in the Builders Cup playlist, a collection of tours and competitions that have you engaging with various styles of cars. Ranging from modern sports cars to vintage vehicles that are likely older than myself. What does suck is the fact that you have to be connected to the internet to progress this playlist, even though it is a static playlist. At least with the featured playlist, you can understand this requirement as it cycles the available events in and out. But for a static playlist like the Builders Cup, it feels terrible. Turn 10 has claimed this is to facilitate a secure and fair experience, but I don't buy it. It feels like an anti-piracy measure more than anything, as only the free play feature is available when offline, which features no progression whatsoever. Looking past the always online requirement of the single player, the subsystems in the game make the vehicle handling feel incredible. Made some adjustments to your vehicle? You will know about it. There are so many small systems that all add up to making your car feel unique. The Horizon games had these too, but there wasn't really any importance placed on it. One feature I did find really cool was the fuel system, where you can set how full your fuel tank is from 5% to 100%, and it affects your overall weight and thus your speed. The difference is small, but in a medium where 100th of a second can be the difference between placing first or second, it's a great little feature. Fear not, however, because even with all the simulator system requirements turned off, the vehicle handling is bar none. Words cannot really describe the exact feeling of tearing down the straight of a track or successfully pulling off a tight turn. Each car has been developed in the game in such a way that, while sharing similar traits with one another, they all feel distinct. Even with just using a controller, I was able to feel how much power was being used by my car at any given moment. Going down a straight at close to 360 kilometers an hour, I swear, I could feel the cars humming my legs. Wait, no, that's just my cat Kermie purring on my lap. Hey buddy, can I go back to reviewing Forza Motorsport? Thanks buddy, I love you too. Turn 10 is known for the insane amount of work that it puts into creating next level audio-visual experiences. I've always enjoyed the sounds of the Horizon games, though I am aware that more car-centric people have criticised the series for how it handles the sounds of certain cars. Ignorance is bliss, however, and I never had any issue with it. Forza Motorsport somehow ups the ante on the sound design. The way your engine sounds bounce off the environment allows your car to go from a calming yet powerful hum to a deafening echo in certain conditions. The noise of the road is uniquely distinct from the noise of the dirt that lines either side of said road, and the sound of a collision is incredibly dense and punchy. Not only does Forza Motorsport sound incredible, but it manages to look fantastic too. Turn 10 is known for pushing some insane visuals with its games while running superbly at the same time. Forza Motorsport is no different. The way bump mapping is used to add depth and detail to the road and dirt, the way the crowds you race past are seemingly actual 3D models, the way the sun glistens and reflects off the body of your car, and the way that nighttime is truly dark and so the light emitted by your headlights is all the more important. Turn 10 has outdone itself yet again. I had just upgraded my PC from a Ryzen 2700X and a 1080 Ti with 16GB of DDR4 memory to a Ryzen 9 7950X and a 3080 Ti with 64GB of CL32 DDR5 6000 memory, and this game already pushes that rig to its limits. Obviously, the ray tracing effects play a big part in where my performance has gone, but with how much tech is being used, it is still a superbly optimized game. The only sort of technical blemish I found was when running in a multi-monitor setup, the border of the game's window would noticeably bleed into the inner edge of my second monitor. In saying this, the other issue I had with the PC version was with its settings. There are a lot of options here, but rather than provide any kind of preset, the game instead opts to solely use a dynamic render setting in place of each preset option. What this means is that you don't really know how each level sets each individual setting, and so you need to put in a little more work to get it to behave exactly how you want it to. Dynamic render settings are fantastic for pushing a little extra performance out of your rig, especially for older machines, but they should never be the replacement of a preset option. Forza Motorsport is a fantastic yet imperfect celebration of the Forza Motorsport series. The systems are nuanced and impactful, the visuals and sound design are impeccable, and the vehicle handling is bar none. It's all so wonderful. Unfortunately, it is majorly held back by the requirement of an internet connection for the single player progression, and minorly by some strange decision in the PC version settings. But it also presents some incredible levels of polish and optimization that continue Turn 10's reputation as Microsoft's technical wizards who push the available technology both in terms of hardware and the engine to its limits.